Hi everyone, I'm Jess Dang, the Chief Kitchen Cheerleader at CookSmarts, and today I have some huge news. From this point on, we will be including nutrition facts for all future CookSmarts meal plans, and our team will be working incredibly hard to update all of our previous meal plans with this information. As of today, April 15th, 2014, we've already gotten through all of 2014's meals and all the free sample meal plans as well. So it shouldn't be too long before we have our entire archives covered. Lots of you asked for this feature, and we take the suggestions of our community very seriously. And even though we love data and numbers, at the core, CookSmarts is all about teaching you how to cook whole, real ingredients. So we wanted to build something that was going to be more than just numbers. We wanted to make our nutrition label extra smart to help you improve your nutrition knowledge. So let me show you how this works. This is the longer version of our demo, and I'm going to show 3 examples of how we use our nutrition label. Here we are in our orange sesame beef stir fry, and I'll scroll down to the label, which is located right beneath the ingredients. By default, nutrition facts will be hidden until you expand them. We realize some folks just want to cook and eat and not worry too much about the numbers. But for those of you that like the data, once you expand this, it will stay expanded for all your meals. As you can see, there are little triangle icons next to all parts of the label. This means that you can click on it and it'll show you what's contributing to that particular element. For the stir fry, you'll see that one serving contains 559 calories. Most meals fall in the range of 500 to 700 calories, with a few that are under and a few that are over. So we click on the triangle next to calories right here. We learn that the bulk of the calories are from the steak and the rice. And the vegetables barely make a dent, the kale and the red peppers here. Therefore, if you ever wanted to lower your calorie intake, you can always readjust your ingredients at the store to bulk up on the veggies and maybe eat less steak and rice. Pretty cool, right? I definitely think this is way better than just giving you a bunch of numbers, because now you can actually make decisions based on the data, which is always important. You can drill down on any component, and if there's nothing, like in this trans fat, no ingredients will show up. So you can see this for cholesterol, for sodium, for carbohydrates. So anything that has a triangle means it can be clicked on and you can do a little drill down on the data. You can see the nutrition label for any version of the meal. So let's see the veggie version of the stir fry. So we'll go in here and you can see that I've selected the vegetarian version of the stir fry, and we'll scroll down again. And I've already kept since I've already opened the nutrition facts, it's kept open. So you can see the veggie version actually contains fewer calories than the original version, which contained about 560. Here we've got 443 calories for the veggie. And if you want to find out why, let's go ahead and click on the calories, and you'll see that tofu right here is a lot less calorie dense than steak. Again, if you're trying to cut down on your calories, you may want to try the vegetarian version of this meal versus the original. So just another way to make some decisions based on the nutrition label. Of course, if you have specific medical conditions or very specific weight loss goals, I definitely recommend reaching out to your physician or consulting a nutritionist. We did ask Kath Younger, an RD, an all-around great blogger friend of ours, 10 of the most common nutrition questions we receive, and you can find her answers on our site at cooksmarts.com/nutrition. I really encourage you to read through the Q&A because Kath really breaks down nutrition in a much easier to understand way. So I want to look at 2 more quick examples of our nutrition label with you because I think there are just a lot of cool things to learn. So here we are in our chicken soba noodles meal, and I wanted to talk about how actually to use daily value right here. In one of Kath's answers, she explains that the FDA has chosen 2,000 as a conservative average calorie level for men and women. And this clearly varies by individual based on height, weight, activity level, metabolic rate, and lots of other factors. For example, I'm 5'1", so relatively petite, but I'm pretty active. So I actually eat at least 2,500 calories a day to stay energetic and fueled, which is 1,000 more than my Fitness Pal recommends for me if I just plugged in, my height and weight and and whether I was female or male, which means that the apps and sites can give you recommendations, but it can take a little bit of individual experimentation to figure out what is exactly right for you. And Kath does give us some advice on, how you can determine the number of calories you should eat every day. So since everyone is different, use this daily value percentage as a guide, but don't get too attached to the actual number, the actual percentage, because you might need more or less than 2,000 calories a day. Okay, going back to this meal and what we can learn from the nutrition label. This meal has all healthy ingredients, but if you look at the percentage of fat compared to everything else, you can tell it's a pretty fat-dense meal. If we click into it, we see that it is mainly from cooking oil. And we can also see, if we click into calories, that cooking oil also makes up the bulk of the calories there too. And if you go back up to the ingredients, you can see that this meal asks for 1/3 to a 1/2 cup of oil and a little bit, and some change. And that's what makes this a calorie and fat dense meal. The right kinds of fats and the fats in the right amounts are great for our health. And we're always going to recommend, some fat in our dishes. And we definitely need them in our diet. However, if you're counting your fat grams really religiously and nearing those for the day, or if you've been told to go on a low-fat diet by your doctor, you can now use this information to adjust, to use less oil and adjust for yourself accordingly. Again, definitely check out Kath's Q&A at cooksmarts.com/nutrition, where she goes a little deeper on oils and why we need good fats in our diet.
So let's look at one last meal. So every so often we have splurge meals, and I would classify our maple Dijon panko crusted salmon as a slight splurge meal. Okay, it's definitely not eating half a deep dish pizza, but it's a rare Cook Smarts meal when we use both butter and olive oil in a dish. But if you look at the ingredients, you'll see that this calls for 3 tablespoons of butter and 3 tablespoons of olive oil. So when we divide that up by 4 servings, each serving really isn't a ton. It's less than a tablespoon each. This just kind of goes to show you that butter and olive oil are really calorie and fat dense ingredients. Again, it doesn't make them bad at all because butter and olive oil are amazing, but it really just more indicates that a little goes a long way for fuel. We really try to use moderate amounts of everything versus what restaurants would typically do. And another thing to learn from our nutrition label from this meal is if I double click on saturated fats, which are the fats we should eat less of. It's not that we should eat none of them, but we should just eat a little bit less. You see that there's more saturated fat in butter than there is in olive oil. So you could substitute olive oil for butter in this dish if you were interested in reducing your saturated fat intake. In addition, you could also skip the cheese in the salad if you're looking to reduce your saturated fat intake as well. And if you chose the paleo version of this meal, you wouldn't even see the cheese. And so that's another way to kind of adjust for whatever your health needs are. We've always believed in flexibility, which is why we've always offered different diet versions of each of our meals. And with, I think, this new nutrition feature, we're now making our meals even more flexible. So I'm just really excited about that.
So I know we've covered a lot, and I'm sure all the nutrition enthusiasts and data nerds are going to have a lot of fun with this new feature. Some of you will use this religiously, some of you will never use it at all. Regardless of what bucket you fall into, our promise is that we will continue offering creative meals that we define as healthy, which are meals made up of real whole foods, good fats, and good carbs. And every once in a while, we'll splurge on a grilled cheese. As always, we would love to hear your feedback. Please feel free to email us at hello@cooksmarts.com with your thoughts. If you have a friend that's been waiting for this feature to subscribe to our meal plan service, definitely let them know it's ready. At CookSmarts, we believe that good nutrition starts with cooking real food. We hope this new information helps you lead your healthiest and happiest life in the kitchen. And definitely please help us spread the smarts.